What if I told you that the key to understanding a huge financial concept like mutual funds could be found in a pizza? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're breaking down the world of mutual funds using an analogy that everyone knows and loves. Let's dive in.
Okay, so just picture this for a second. You are seriously craving that amazing loaded pizza from your favorite spot. But then you check your wallet, and you've only got 100 rupees. The pizza you want? 600. We've all been there, right?
On your own, that pizza is just not happening. It's a simple money problem, and honestly, it's the exact same feeling a lot of us get when we look at trying to invest in big, successful companies. They just seem way too expensive to get a piece of. So, what do?
Well, you don't give up on the pizza. Of course not. You get clever. You find a way to work together. And believe it or not, this simple idea of pooling your money is the entire foundation of how a mutual fund actually works.
The math is super simple. You call up 5 of your friends who are also craving pizza. Each one of you chips in your 100 rupees. And just like that, you've taken 6 small piles of cash and turned them into one big one. You've got the 600 rupees you need for that awesome pizza.
And there you have it. That, in a nutshell, is a mutual fund. It's literally just a way for a whole bunch of people, investors, like you and your friends, to pool their money together. And that big combined pot of cash is then used to buy a whole portfolio of investments, which, for our story, is one giant, delicious pizza.
All right, so you've all got your money together, that's great. But now what? You need someone to actually take that money and make sure you get the best possible pizza for it. This is where a really important person steps in.
You're not just going to hand that 600 rupees to anyone, right? You need an expert, a professional chef, someone who knows exactly how to turn all your ingredients, your money, into a perfectly made pizza, and then slice it up so everyone gets their fair share.
And here's where the analogy really clicks. In the world of mutual funds, our pizza chef is the fund manager. This is a pro whose entire job is to take all that pooled money and make smart investment choices. They're the ones deciding which companies to buy into, how much to invest, and when, all to get the best possible result for everyone who chipped in.
So the pizza's been ordered, the expert chef is working their magic, but what does all this mean for you? For your 100 rupees, what do you actually own, and how much is it worth? It's simple. Your 100 rupee contribution gets you one slice of that big pizza. In the investment world, we'd call this a unit or share. It's your piece of the ownership in the whole thing. It's your slice of the pie, or, pizza. Now, the value of your slice isn't set in stone. It can change. Think about it. If the chef does an incredible job, adds extra cheese, uses the best toppings, that whole pizza becomes way more valuable, and so does your slice. But what if the pizza gets burnt? The value of the whole thing drops, and so does the value of your slice. And that right there is a perfect picture of how the market works. The value of the fund's investments will go up and down based on performance, just like the quality of our pizza. The big takeaway is that your investment's value is always changing.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this is a cool idea, but why is it seen as such a smart way to invest? Well, pooling your money for that pizza comes with some pretty huge advantages. Let's break down why this is such a game changer. First, you get a pizza with a ton of different toppings. This is called diversification. Your money is spread across many companies, not just put on one. Second, if one of those toppings turns out to be kind of gross, it doesn't ruin the whole pizza. That's risk management. Third, you don't have to cook. The expert fund manager does all the hard work and research. And last, and maybe most important, is accessibility. You get to enjoy a huge, expensive pizza with just a little bit of money.
Now, just like there's not just one kind of pizza on the planet, there's not just one kind of mutual fund. You've actually got a whole menu of options, and you can pick based on what you're in the mood for, your appetite for risk. You can think of it like this. An equity fund is like a spicy, loaded pizza. It's got high flavor, which means high potential for returns, but it's also got higher risk. Then you've got debt funds. These are your classic cheese pizza, much safer, much steadier. And if you want a little bit of both, well, that's a hybrid fund. It's the perfect half-and-half pizza.
So, if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. A mutual fund lets you enjoy a diversified, professionally managed investment portfolio even with a small amount of money. It's the whole idea we've been talking about, pooling your money to get a slice of a fantastic pizza that an expert made for you.
And that brings us to the final, most important question. Looking at that whole menu of options, from spicy to safe to a balanced mix,
you've got to ask yourself, what kind of pizza are you ready to order?